Hello and welcome. This is MSP Voice, the webinar series presented by Cloudberry. Today, I am very happy to be joined by Katie Wallace from MindMatrix. So Katie's been with MindMatrix since 2017. She's got a lot of background in B2B sales and marketing, and she's focused on helping MSPs accelerate their sales and marketing efforts through software automation, messaging, pipeline management, and she plays an active role in helping clients with strategy, managing channel accounts, and raising clients' visibility on a day-to-day basis. If you're not familiar with MindMatrix, they're a Pittsburgh-based technology company. They provide sales and marketing solutions since 1998, so they've been doing this for a while. And MindMatrix is the only single fully integrated platform offering complete sales and marketing enablement for direct and indirect sales. So, Katie, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Doug. I appreciate it.
So I'm really excited to hear a little bit more about what it is that MindMatrix offers, and especially what they offer for the MSP community.
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of jumping right into things, MindMatrix has a specific program that we offer to MSP and IT companies. We call it the MSP Advantage program. Now, the MSP Advantage program lets MSPs focus on what they do best, managing services, but all in while helping them with their sales and marketing. We know that your focus as an MSP is providing excellent managed services 24/7, and you don't necessarily have the internal resources to develop, intricate MSP marketing campaigns or sales tactics. So our MSP Advantage program really provides an affordable alternative that requires no additional staffing to help ramp you up in your sales and marketing efforts.
That sounds great. I know a lot of the MSPs that I talk to on the podcast, I ask them about marketing and they're kind of, well, we do some things, but they're not always geared up for true sales and marketing enablement. So this is a platform that can help them with that.
Absolutely. And we really focus on the MSPs that are, small to mid-size. Maybe it's just you're wearing that hat in the marketing and the sales role, or maybe that you have a small team and you just don't have as many resources as you need when it comes to marketing and sales. We talk to a lot of MSPs that have even tried marketing and sales efforts, but again, when it couple months down the road, they realize they don't necessarily have this. They weren't planning for that. So we've kind of developed this program specifically for that vertical of MSP and IT companies. Now, as Doug has mentioned, we have been in business for 20 years, providing sales and marketing enablement for companies. We are trusted by larger enterprises, but we're also loved by the end users and SMBs. So we have about a couple thousand users on our platform currently, and that's through direct and indirect sales as we help kind of both sides of the business. Now,
so just real quick, you said SMB. So do you offer your services just to basically any business out there that wants to use it?
yes, we have a direct sales platform for companies that aren't necessarily MSPs that need, that marketing automation, that view into their sales pipeline. So we really want to help those companies as well as larger companies that sell through their channel or, agents, depending on what vertical they target. So our platform is truly universal across the board.
Cool.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, the MSP Advantage program is a blend of MSP sales and marketing enablement, and we blend it with technology, strategy, and content to kind of create a comprehensive program for the MSPs. We do this because the traditional roles of sales and marketing are no more in today's buying cycle. It's forcing them, sales and marketing, to work as a single unit. Marketing technically is now doing the selling, and selling is actually just closing the business. This is essential to have these working together to complete that view for you to have that insight into what your sales and marketing are doing. So MindMatrix, the sales and marketing automation software, uniquely blends these and brings these together for four essential elements of sales and marketing success. So there's kind of four main pillars to the program that we provide MSPs. So jumping over to things, I kind of want to talk about the pain points, why we're here, what MSPs are facing. So, with working with many MSPs over the years, we've uncovered some common challenges that they face when it comes to sales and marketing. Some of these might look familiar to you. I don't know, you guys work with MSPs, kind of the challenges they bring. I want to talk about the first one, the lack of sales and marketing experience. Not everybody signed up to be in sales, not everybody signed up to be in marketing. So that's really the what you say, when you say it, how often you say it, and these are all big factors when it comes to driving success through sales and marketing.
Yeah, and I know that's important on the MSP side. I talked to a lot of owner operators who they're the only person, and they came from a technical background, and they don't have that sales and marketing experience just because they never had to do it. So it's definitely good to have a partner help you do that.
Absolutely. And you find with those owner operators, you'll probably hear this many times when talking about sales. Oh, on average, you want to make 100 cold calls a day, to bring in that new business, or what people have their BDR reps do. Well, realistically, when you're the owner and the operator, you don't have time to handle all facets of your business in addition to making 100 cold calls a day. There's only 24 hours in the day, and you don't want to be working for all of them. You have to sleep at some point.
Yes.
So that kind of pushes me into the next challenge, or the facet that we hear from MSPs. What sales and marketing plan? They didn't perceive having to do this. When these small to medium sized businesses gain new clients, there's often referrals, word of mouth. Those
Hmm.
are great avenues of business. Referral business is the best business, but sometimes those pipelines dry up, and you need to have your brand. You need to have another asset of marketing your business. You have to be in front for people to know who you are to buy from you. So, again, every business, regardless of a size, needs a brand. And a brand is more than just a logo. A brand is more than just a color or a tagline. A well articulated brand emotionally actually connects your target customers and conveys who you are. It's what you stand for, the services that you're going to deliver. People buy from brands they like. We see it out there every day. So we want to help create that brand for them through marketing for when those referral businesses dry up. We want you to have that pipeline so you're not missing a beat in your company.
Great.
Absolutely. Also, too, we find that what people lack the tools and resources when it comes to doing sales and marketing. It's a lot to go out there and write social media posts every day. It's a lot to, have brochures created. You sit down and write those posts, and maybe we're not all authors, so you get halfway through it and your mind just runs dry. And before you know it, it took you 3 hours to write one blog post, for your social media. Having to do that on a consistent basis is tough.
Yeah.
So we we obviously want to provide many of resources, but just for example, there are a lot of resources out there, and kind of some of the ones that we're going to focus on today are, websites, social media, blogging, even word of mouth, cold calling, print. Those are all some things that are great avenues to focus on for the small to medium sized business.
No, what about, I know one question that comes up, I've seen it quite a bit, even on Reddit, is like Google AdWords. Is that an avenue that you recommend, or is it maybe too expensive for this market because all the words have been taken?
I Google AdWords is kind of one of those catch-22 situations. It's great to do, but it gets more and more expensive every year. I don't know if you look at some of the figures that they're pushing out for what things are going to cost in
Hmm.
2019, but they're throwing out figures that marketing budgets need to increase another 20% to be able to accommodate things like SEO, Google AdWords. Those are things that you should be doing, but in the long term, if they don't fall into to your plan or seem to make sense, then you don't really have to be doing them, especially as a small to medium sized business with a small marketing budget. I know there's
Okay.
probably some marketers out there that are cringing at me saying this, but honestly, for an SMB, We want to make sure that you're allocating the right funds in the right places. And if we can save you a couple bucks, a couple $100 by not having to do those, and maybe a year down the road, that's when you want to do those, we want to kind of help uncover those things as a
Okay.
huge part of our program. Yeah. Now, the last thing, the last challenge I want to talk about is probably the most often that we hear. I don't have the time. You know, we get it. You're busy wearing multiple hats inside of this business when it comes to running it. Or maybe you have a small sales staff and no marketing staff. Or maybe you have a marketing intern, but you know, you're the CEO and the operator and you're the one still making those sales calls. So we truly understand not having the time in your day. And again, like I mentioned, we only have 24 hours. We can't create more. So with all of these challenges taken into consideration, I kind of want to jump into how MindMatrix works and how we work to alleviate these challenges for our customers in a way that it makes sense to align marketing with sales and kind of feed it all into the system, all while having that visibility into your pipeline. I know it sounds like a lot, but this all happens out of one portal. It's a single sign on. All you have to do is log in there. You're going to have complete visibility into everything that's going on. And I'm here to talk about how that's going to happen.
Okay.
Kind of pull everything up on my screen here.
Yeah, it does look
All
like a
right.
lot.
I know, and I don't want to intimidate anybody by this, but it's all things that work into conjunction to get that end result. And the end result that we want for you is selling more. We want new business to happen for you, and we want, you know, to build your brand along the way. That way, your prospects are going to know who they need to reach out to when their buying cycle's right. So, the first thing that I really want to talk to you guys about is the marketing automation platform. Now, marketing automation this platform will allow you to automate your social media. That's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. A post will go out on your behalf. It's going to look like that you guys wrote it. And it's just, you know, a way of getting your messaging out there. It allows you to build your brand because in today's natural buying cycle, when a prospect is in the market for a service or a product, what do? They all stick it into Google and see what comes up. So posting consistently on your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn is going to send the message to that buyer that you guys are on top of your business. You know what's going on and you're creating that perspective for that buyer. They often visit those social media sites and then end up at your website. Or if they ended up at your website first, then they visit your social media. So we arm you with the tools to automate your social media campaign. We also will automate email campaigns as well. So we have email marketing. And again, it's very similar to social media automation. Maybe on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis, you have an email that goes out from your account. It looks like that you guys wrote it, and it's just an informational email on managed services. Now, you're probably wondering who's writing all of this content. A big portion of our services and what we arm our MSPs with in the MSP Advantage program is a full library of assets. So going into this program, you'll have access to around 300 plus blog posts, around 1,000 social media posts, white papers, landing papers, all of that good stuff to automate these with. Now, with email marketing, you are necessarily nurturing your leads. You're staying in front of your prospects. You're sending these messages about your services, and that allows you to stay in front of them. Now, with staying in front of your prospects, it allows you to send out your messaging and all that good stuff.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I love the idea of the prepackaged content, right? I can sign up, I can send out, I don't have to create the content. I can, you know, send it out. whether it's blog, social media, email campaigns. But what about my competition? That's one of the questions
So
I always have on some of these things. When my competition is
that's
signed up with you too.
That's a great question. So we give you full ownership over this content, and I 120% recommend making changes, making edits, because
Okay.
it allows you to send out a more personalized message to your region. Now, that's probably one of the main questions that we get asked while moving into a program like this. Well, I don't want the same messaging as my prospects. We 100% get that, but twofold, what it costs to go out and have a library of content created for you, or the time that you would spend to write an entire library from scratch, is just it would cost an astronomical amount of money. I mean, a few landing pages and blog posts and maybe a simple website design will cost you upwards of $5,000 to $6,000 coming from in a marketing agency. Now, you obviously know your business the best, so while you would be paying top dollar, you would get a top dollar piece out of that. We absolutely get that. But not everybody has marketing budgets like that. So with providing the content, the templates, and being able to change it yourself, you're kind of getting that best of both worlds without blowing your budget, is what I
Okay.
always tell my prospects
Yeah.
when working through that.
Yeah. So, the fact that you can make modifications and, make it your own, I think helps kind of alleviate that, oh, my competitor might be using MindMatrix as well. But if I can make it look like it's mine and theirs looks like theirs and it's not, we're not targeting the same customers, then it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And for example, we have around 10 to 15 customers that I can think of just in the Boston area alone.
Hmm.
And when a new customer signs on in the MSP Advantage program, we do a zip code search. We run to see who else in that area is using our services. And because we provide you with so much content, we can put you at different starting tracks or have you kind of on different feeds. That way you're not going to be cross posting the same message in the same day, because we want to have your best interest in mind at the end of the day, and we don't want to
Yeah.
see that happen either.
Well, that's great that you do that. It's because it's not all just on the MSP's focus to like make changes to the content, but you actually are proactive in the fact that saying, hey, you have some of your competitors in the same area, so we're gonna put you on a different track or do something a little bit different, so you're not sending the same message out. I think that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So within kind of talking about all this stuff and the email marketing and the social media marketing, I want to talk about what we do with the data that comes out of that email marketing and the social media marketing. So we're actually tracking and scoring what your leads and your prospects are doing. So say somebody clicks on your social media post, they wind up on your website, maybe they download an e-guide. We're tracking and scoring all of that. We have full visibility into what your prospects are looking at when they visit your website. This not only gives you the insight on what your prospects are looking at to have that immediate talking track to go off of, because you're going to be able to see if your prospect downloads an e-guide on backup and disaster, and then they're on your site reading a blog post about how to get their information back. When it comes time to pick up the phone and call that prospect, you're going to know immediately what you need to start talking about with that prospect. That goes back to creating that emotional connection with them. So you're on the phone and you're going to be able to say, "Hey, did something happen? Because I've seen that you've been downloading this post," and maybe that's when they're going to let you know, "Yeah, my computer crashed and I lost 10 years of data and I'm trying to get it back." And at that point, that's when the MSP will be able to pitch their services the best. So as you can kind of see, having that visibility into what your prospects are doing is a very key piece in how marketing kind of feeds sales in today's buying cycle. Now I'll get more into that as I kind of go along this graph here, but I wanted to bring that up because I think that is a big component into automating, why you need to automate your social media and email marketing, but truly have that visibility into where they're going and what you're doing with that data. So on this bubble as well, we also provide a CRM PSA integration. Now, with working with a lot of MSPs in the space, we have a few big ones: ConnectWise, Autotask, TigerPaw, Salesforce, Zoho, Microsoft Dynamics. We also integrate with Sugar CRM as well, and there's a few others. Um, with integrating your CRM into a marketing automation platform, you're again better aligning the data into where it needs to be to utilize it properly. Our integrations are bidirectional syncs, so they will just push and pull your contacts. The scores will push over. That way, when you're writing your ConnectWise or your Autotask, you'll be able to see what your contacts are doing, or what score they're currently at and what they're engaging with.
Okay, so like if I get a cold lead and I enter it into my CRM, maybe I just met someone at a chamber of commerce or something, I enter it in, then they automatically get put into this enablement platform and then start getting nurtured, and I can then track where they're going right from my CRM.
Yes. Now, we could do it that way if that's how your sales model is set up.
Hmm.
Some people get that initial cold lead, and maybe they want a separate drip campaign for specific cold leads. Maybe you want a campaign that's going out to a little bit more warmer of leads.
Okay.
As another service that I'll get into down the road, we'll help you segment those leads, and we actually sit down with you inside your CRM to make sure that the right content is going to the right person, because messaging is also a key component into marketing, because you want the right
Hmm.
messaging to go to the right prospect, because that truly makes a difference.
Yes. Cool.
Absolutely. So the next thing that I want to talk about is asset management. Now, as a small business owner, you might think asset management is silly, but realistically, it's providing you crucial data for when it comes time to scale your business. In the program, we have an asset recommendation engine that's built in. There's AI in our software that will suggest other content based on assets that your prospects look at the most. Again, we also do the asset tracking and reporting. This is different than the social media tracking and email reporting. This is one of my favorite things actually about the software. If you have a small sales team or a sales rep, the asset tracking will actually let you know if your sales rep is using the assets that you're creating or editing, or that what you're providing with. That way, one thing, it's going to let you know if your salesperson's doing what they need to be doing. But at the same time, it's also going to let you know what asset, what messaging is working best for your prospects. Your prospects are opening the most maybe on backup and disaster or hurricane recovery, depending on what area you're in. That's going to let you know to maybe run more campaigns surrounding that material versus just having some general MSP campaigns running in the background. So again, with having that insight on what asset is working best for your prospect, you're going to know the messaging that you need to push out about your business. And again, messaging is one of the most important things when it comes to marketing and creating that emotional connection with your prospects.
Cool.
We also do asset personalization. So what that means is, straight from the software, when your asset or your content's pushed out, it's going to have your logo put on it. It's also going to have your credentials. So whoever sends this asset out, whether it's the CEO of the company, the salesperson, maybe your techs do some marketing as well. It's all going to be credentialed for the person that's account that it comes out of. Their name, their email address. It's just another quick way to send stuff out. That way you're not left typing in your credentials or placing your logo every time that you have to send an asset out.
Okay.
Yeah. We also provide mobile access into all of this, because another key thing that we understand is, as a small business owner or somebody in sales, sometimes you're on the go. Actually, a lot of the times you're on the go. Maybe you're in an airport flying out to the next show that you're going to, or maybe you're on your way to canvas a business park to collect new leads. We want you to have mobile access to all of this, because if a prospect's emailing you and they need a one pager or they want a flyer, you got to be able to do it from your phone and do it quickly, because you don't want to miss their buying window. So you have full mobile access into all of this asset management and the marketing and sales automation piece as well.
Cool. Now, just real quick on some of this, on some of these assets, and probably goes back to a little bit more on the enablement platform as well, on your package content, is can I target verticals
Yes,
with your content? So you have content specific to verticals then as well.
we do. Don't quote me on this, because we have a lot of vertical specific content.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rattle off a few off the top of my head. If there are any questions for the attendees on what vertical content that we have, that would be something that I'd love to provide you guys after the phone call with that full list. But I know we have nonprofits, dental offices, attorneys, doctors' offices, construction firms. I even want to say we have like public schools that we will send out vertical specific content to. Um, Probably you name it, we have vertical specific campaigns. And what that means is just the messaging is more tailored to that lawyer or that doctor's office.
Mhm.
Doctors' offices will probably drop words like HIPAA, because those are the buzzwords that everybody needs to be HIPAA compliant. So
Yep.
that's kind of what they're focused on, grabbing their attention.
Cool. And that's kind of another way to differentiate yourself from your competition. If you may focus on on a particular vertical that your competitor, 2 blocks away doesn't. So it's another way to kind of differentiate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good, and I'll touch upon this in a little bit later on my next slide. But when it comes to segmenting your lead list and making sure that right messaging is going to the right person, having that vertical specific content is truly key, because it's just a deeper level of connecting with that prospect.
Hmm.
So, jumping off of the marketing enablement platform, I want to jump into the sales enablement piece. Because like I had mentioned, in today's buying cycle, marketing is feeding sales. So we've run these campaigns, we've collected this data, we're seeing what your prospects are doing. Now what do we do with what we have on our plates? So the one thing about sales enablement that I truly love out of this platform, and we internally use this platform as a sales team as well, um, real time scoring. Now, like I said, we're tracking. You're going to see the opens, the clicks, all of that. But our our program is going to let you know who your hot, who your medium, who your low, and who your engaged prospects are. So you're going to know when it comes time to sit down and make those phone calls. You're going to know the people that you need to reach out to. Once somebody reaches a hot score, you get a real-time email alert saying you need to call this person, because they're, maybe they've clicked through your website, maybe they've opened up an email 10 times. They're truly engaging with what you're putting out there, and you need to catch them on the phone. With talking about all of this and catching people on the phone, I want to talk about sales playbooks. So now, again, you've seen what your prospect's done through your social media, through your email marketing campaigns. If they're a hot prospect, now what do you do? So we have sales playbooks. And like playbooks for a sports team, a sales playbook helps you chart and navigate your path from where you're at any given point in the game to where you want to end up. And in sales, of course, the goal is to convert a prospect into a customer and build a profitable, lasting relationship. Now, on average, it takes 6 to 8 touch points to get a hold of a prospect. That might sound crazy to somebody who's not in sales, especially after they've engaged with all of your content that you're putting out there. But as many folks in sales know, you have to make multiple phone calls to get somebody on the phone. It's awesome when you pick up the phone and you reach them right away, but what happens if you don't? So these playbooks are essential in providing context for the next play. These are methods and processes that are used to help a lead transform into a customer. Now, everybody's going to have different plays in their playbooks. So it can include your elevator pitch as well as scripts for handling anticipated sales scenarios or just overcoming common objections. So our sales playbooks you can use as is, or they're fully customized for, maybe you have a sales process in place, or maybe you want to, make it a more personal experience. You're going to know your prospects the best, your market the best. So we can help you definitely build out a playbook for you, but we want you to use this as an instrument in winning over new customers. I will say when it comes to bringing on a new sales rep, and that's something MSPs will face as you grow and as you scale your company. That CEO of one that was wearing that sales hat is going to grow the business to the point where he can bring on a sales rep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how many hours is he going to have to train that sales rep while still tackling what he needs to tackle at the end of the day? So think of these playbooks or this platform as a way to even train your new reps that come on. Maybe you want them after you get a hot prospect. The first step is sending out this email that you've made a template out of. The second step is picking up the phone. Maybe you don't leave a voicemail the first time that you call them. Maybe the second step is another phone call, but 2 days later, but you leave a voicemail this time. If you don't hear from them again, maybe it's another email. But these are all steps and all a process that we would provide to the business owner that maybe doesn't know how to sell, or the business owner who's brought on somebody and they're teaching them how to sell their product.
Yeah, and I think when you look at it, combining the fact, you said you have, you get real-time notifications of, when they turn into a hot lead. If all of a sudden you get an email saying, hey, they're hot, and they instantly receive a communication from you, I know from my experience that's, they're going to be, wow, they're paying attention, right?
Yeah.
and they care about me and those types of things. So, just my experience in marketing and sales over the last many years tells me that, when you've got somebody who's actively, on your site or engaging with your content, and your lead scoring system, turns them into a hot lead, that immediate follow up is hugely important.
It is, and that goes back to the what to say, when you say it, and how you say it. And when you say it is very important. I was reading some articles yesterday, and on average, when somebody fills out a form on your website, there was some alarming statistics to me. Now, on average, after you fill out a form, it was like 15% of companies get back to you right away. Another percentage of companies take 1 to 3 days to get back to you. Then there was another statistic that blew my mind. It was like 40% of businesses didn't get back within 5 to 6 days of filling out the form. And my mind was blown. When somebody's filling out a form, they're actively saying, we're interested in your services. And if you're not acting in a timely manner, you're basically opening that door and letting the money just kind of fly out of it.
Exactly. And as a consumer, right, when I fill out a form, I try to engage, I want I don't necessarily immediate response, but within 24 hours is my expectation. And if it's longer than that, I'm like, well, I guess you didn't care about me that much.
Exactly. That customer, that prospect was looking for information. Maybe it wasn't information that they wanted to buy immediately, but reaching back out to them and letting them and like giving that personal touch, maybe it just is a one-off email or something, but you're still letting them know and acknowledging their business. If anything, that's just great customer service. And we all know when you work with a company with great customer service, that almost makes you more loyal than anything else.
Exactly.
So after running you through all of this bubble, I want to jump over to my next slide. So with saying all of this, you're not in this alone. you're going to have, oh, there was one last thing to pop up on my screen. Anyways, you're going to have the ongoing support and help from an assigned consultant and concierge on our team that you work with on a monthly basis. Now, this is huge because working with your consultant on a monthly basis brings a new level of accountability. It's important to make these monthly calls so we can truly make sure that the program is aligning the way that you need it to be to drive the results. Again, we understand that you're busy business owners, but these monthly calls, they're about an hour long. You have 3 to 4 hours of your consultant's time a month, and that's really to use any way that you see fit. There's some avenues on my screen right here that I'm going to drive through that are different ways that your sales consultant can help you out. I don't want to confuse you. I will say consultant and concierge, they are the same person. We just kind of reference them as both. But
Okay.
no, we want you to make the most out of this program. We understand with using new technology, maybe one training webinar or a series of trainings might not be enough. So we'll work to onboard you on the first month. We do that over a series of a couple phone calls. But then with those monthly meetings, we're holding you accountable. We want to see, you're adding in new prospects. We want to hear that you're calling your hot prospects. We want to see you changing up that content. We're going to go over some things that are happening with you inside the portal, honestly, just to truly align what you want to see and what you're getting out of this service. 3 to 4 hours might not sound like a lot of consulting time a month, but our consultants know these portals like the back of their hand. And I always joke around with when I talk to people, I'm like, things that take me an hour to try to figure out how to do or 30 minutes to try to figure out how to do. I call one of my coworkers and they give me an answer in 30 seconds and I'm like, "Oh wow, you guys make that look easy." I'm like, "Oh, I guess that's your job though." But no, some tasks that your consultant will help you out with. Keeping campaigns updated and running. Now, in addition to having all of this content that we provide you with, if you get content from any of your vendors or if you create any of the content on your own, send it in. We'll work it into your automated campaigns for you. We'll make sure that messaging is going out because we want to help you market every asset of your business and as much as we can. So we'll definitely make sure those campaigns are updated. And to keep them running, what happens is sometimes, you have a campaign that's ending, you have 3 to 4 posts that are left to go out on social media. Your consultant's going to let you know that that's ending. They're going to ask what campaign you want to start in its place. If you want to start another one, maybe you want to dive into something a little bit more vertical specific. Those are kind of all things that we do when helping keeping those campaigns and everything going for you. Now,
Cool.
We'll also help with editing the templates and that personalization of that content that we talked about earlier, because we don't want you to have that same content that's going out. So when you send in your edits, your changes, your consultant's going to look over those, make sure that your grammar's right, make sure that you didn't miss a thing, and they're going to look over that as an extra set of eyes. Or I always say that's an activity that your marketing assistant would help you out with or something like that. So they're really going to make sure that everything that's right needs to be going out of the program.
That's very helpful.
Yes. Especially if
that
you don't have that resource.
Yeah, or if you don't have that necessarily experience either, from a marketing perspective, and you put something together you think is right, but then you have a second set of eyes look at it to say, well, look, in our experience, this doesn't work, but this does, and have them coach you through that. So that's very nice.
Yeah, I will joke that we once had a prospect that sent in email templates, but his email templates were like 2 pages long for simple marketing emails. And we had to have the tough conversation with him and say, hey, listen, these are well articulated and you're absolutely right. But when it comes to marketing emails, you got to keep them short. You got to kind of keep them interesting because we all get them. You all read your inbox and you read the ones that pull your interest the most. So we kind of had to scale him back and those really long emails became a great series of shorter emails.
Well, that's
So
yeah,
I
that's
guess
one way
it
to
was,
look at it.
yeah, I was going to say the glass is half full or half empty no matter what way you look at it. But anyways, another big service that we help you out with on a consultant front is we help generate marketing reports for you. Now, you're going to tell me the dashboard tells you when you log into it, you can see all your marketing reports right then and there. You're absolutely right. I'm not going to argue that, but this is a great way in knowing what's working and what's not working. So I talked about segmenting lists, the importance of segmenting lists for the messaging aspect. But from a reporting aspect, you're going to be able to see the differences of your email campaigns that go out maybe Tuesday morning versus the ones that go out Wednesday afternoon versus the ones that go out Thursday. And I always recommend doing it this way or setting it up this way because you're going to see what time works best. So maybe your Tuesday morning email campaign is yielding poor open results when your Wednesday afternoon results are blowing them out of the water. That says to me, you need more campaigns running on Wednesday afternoon and skip Tuesday because it wasn't a good day anyways, because maybe they're already getting too many marketing emails. So with having that visibility into that reporting and your consultant going over that with you, we're going to be able to align when your campaigns go out for better results. We also, with this service, help you with a newsletter. We have some templates that we can plug in our content. I always recommend sending in some cute things that, I shouldn't say cute, I'm working with text, but some things that are going on in your company that month. These are a great way to stay engaged with your current clients. You know, maybe you guys are releasing a new program that you're offering in your solution stack. It's a great way to letting them know what's happening, but without still having to market to them. Those are all
Yeah,
going to be tracked and scored as well.
yeah, and I think that's a great point. Even once you've closed them as a customer, having continuing to have touch points with them, is extremely important, right? To make that they know, hey, wow, there's something going on here. You stay top of mind in their minds. It's not just, hey, you closed them and they're remoting into our systems and taking care of us, but I never hear from them. I think it's important to keep that touch, keep the high touch aspect to it.
Yeah, we actually have an MSP customer that sold, his MSP services to his prospect, and a year later, he was using our program. They were sending out newsletters, or maybe it was an email drip. I'm not exactly quite sure, but in something that went out to them, they noticed that he started offering VoIP. They didn't know that. At that time, they were sourcing VoIP providers, and because they were already doing business with him, they immediately awarded him business, and he won like $100,000 contract just from them knowing now that he does VoIP, and they were in the market for it. Now,
Cool.
again, the stars don't always align like that, but those are ways to make sure that they do align like that if the time comes.
Yeah, definitely.
So the one other thing that I really want to talk about on this screen is landing pages. I want to talk about the importance of having them, and also the email templates that we allow you to create around them. So maybe you're thinking about hosting a lunch and learn, or maybe you're thinking about having a webinar just like the one we're having today. Maybe you're in a small market and you don't know if people are going to attend. Definitely for a lunch and learn, before you shell out all that money, create some email templates. We'll be happy to help you do that. Surrounding your lunch and learn or your event, we'll also set up a landing page where people can say that they're interested in attending one on this date. That way you're going to be able to see, who's opening those emails. Are they registering? And if they're interested in doing something like that, that way you don't shell out the cash to host a lunch and learn and then only one person shows up. So it's just a way of helping you market other assets of your company and other things that you guys are going to do. We see a lot of prospects, or I shouldn't say prospects, a lot of clients using this when it comes to lunch and learns and webinars, like I had mentioned, or maybe they're going to a show and they're trying to see if other people in the space would be interested in attending if they exhibited the next year, different things like that. So I really truly like that service as well.
So I see one option on here, or is data scrubbing, cleanup, and migration.
Yes.
And I guess that kind of leads me to a question of, if someone is already using maybe a MindMatrix competitor and wants to switch to you, do you help them kind of pull the data out of that one system and into yours? Is that what the migration means, and scrubbing?
Yes. So it means one of two things. If somebody is currently using a competitor and they want to switch, or maybe they're shopping around and they're worried about losing specific data in that process, we'll actually sit down with you in the onboarding process and do an audit. We want to know when your other campaigns are going out, how frequently they're going out. We really want to look at that data. That way we can best align this program with the other program that you're using for a seamless transition, because we don't want you to skip a beat. Marketing's all about consistency, and so is sales. So if it comes time for you to make that change, we want to make it as consistent, as coherent as we can. So that's why we include the migration. Now, the data scrubbing and cleanup, that's kind of centered around bounces, unsubscribes, through email marketing. You see GDPR compliancy, Canada has the CASL. Even I believe California is rolling out some new email marketing laws coming down the road. So we are fully compliant with all of that. And it's a law that if you send to an email address and it's bounced or unsubscribed, we have to manage all of that data. We want to make sure that you're going to be able to see that a complete data path that contact has taken. That way you're compliant with all the email rules and regulations that are going on out there in today's market.
Okay, yeah, that's great, because I know there's a lot of them.
Oh, absolutely. And I fully believe that the U.S. is probably going to roll out some email marketing laws in the years to come as a country, but don't quote me on that either. So that's really the MSP Advantage program in a nutshell. I talked about those main pillars to the program. It's the high level marketing plan that we want to develop with you. It's the software that allows you to do it, the content that we arm you to do it. It's integrating that sales, that marketing, pushing them together, all while having the help of our consultants on our team to kind of be that backbone for you, especially if you don't have one. We do all of this for $3.99 a month. There's a $3.50 setup fee when you first sign on. That really includes the cost of your CRM integration, the onboarding process. We do a couple more phone calls that first month. Again, getting you set up in that portal. If you currently have something going on, that's when we would run the business audit, make sure everything's going to align properly, all that information is going to push over. Then you're good to go. We'll sit with you inside your CRM, make sure those lists are segmented properly, the right contacts are being pushed and pulled, all that good stuff. Then you're on to your monthlies. We do offer a few other services outside of just the MSP Advantage program for MSPs. If you would be interested in outbound calling in addition to this MSP Advantage program, we do offer that. It's just we guarantee some appointments. Our BDR team would call on your behalf. You provide us the script. We would set up the appointments for you, and then that way it would be up to you to close that business that we've set you up with. Again, cool. That's something you're interested in. We also do websites as well. If you don't like your current website, or you would maybe like a revamped one, that's another service that we can help you with. Maybe you want some custom content, like an e-guide or an e-book written. We can also put you in touch with our content writer, and we can have those created as well.
Cool. Now, that $3.99 a month, is that for like one user?
So the $3.99 a month, you get 6 users.
Okay.
Now, one of those is an admin seat, and then the rest are the users in your company. If you need another license, it's an extra $75 a month.
Okay. So, but yeah, that's, it's nice that it's not just per $3.99 a person, that it covers 6 people. So that's great.
No, and so when developing this program and talking with MSPs, marketing can get very expensive. We do all of this in-house, so that's why we're able to offer offer the program for $3.99, and that's why we do it, because we want MSPs to know that it's important to market themselves, to sell themselves, and to build that brand.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, I know we're kind of winding down here in the last 10 minutes, so I'd like to open the floor up for any questions, see if we can help answer anything for the MSPs out there.
Well, I asked a couple that had come in, as you were talking, so I know we've covered some of those. Um, and you said, besides kind of I guess the MSP program, what other I mean, you said other services. Is that the outbound calling and the website, or do you have other services besides that?
Correct. For the MSPs, those are the specific programs that we offer for them. Like I said, if companies are a little bit larger, they want direct solutions, or maybe they have a channel that they sell through. Those are all other avenues that we can help people out with as well.
Okay.
The slogan to the company, and it has been for the 20 years, and we fully still stick to it today, is helping you sell more. So all businesses, that's what we truly want to do out of these programs. We don't say that we're a marketing automation company. We really take that data and turn it in to sales for you guys.
Great.
Yeah,
Well, Katie, this has been extremely interesting. I know that I have learned a lot. I know much better now what MindMatrix does, um, and really appreciate the time you took today to walk us through it.
absolutely, Doug. I want to thank you for putting this all together and inviting me to talk to you, the MSPs about sales and marketing. And thank you so much.
All right. Well, hopefully, I'll get to meet you in person someday at one of these conferences.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.